This case here, yeah, it pretty much looks the same. Inside here, these AirPods, they pretty much look the same. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the AirPods Pro 3 is a whole different beast, and we're gonna talk all about it. These are the new AirPods Pro 3, and every so few years, Apple will release new hardware, and they've taken major leaps, but you wonder, how much can you fit in something this small? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, Apple has completely rebuilt the AirPods Pro from the ground up with the 3s, and it starts with an entirely new driver, a new amplifier, new microphones. These are all spec'd out specifically for the AirPods Pro 3. You've got their multi-port acoustics architecture. This is new, wider vents, a new airflow system through the driver, and with the realignment of this new design for the fit. So you have this airflow that carries the entire sound flow into the canal of your ears to give you a completely reimagined sound. Look, the AirPods Pro 2, they sound incredible. And the best way I can describe what's different about these, for those of you who pay attention enough to audio, we talk a lot about when you listen to something, you hear this word called soundstage. And AirPods Pro 2, again, they sound great, but the sound sounds kind of like confined to here. With the AirPods Pro 3, it's confined to here. It opens things up. It doesn't feel like an echoey room, but more of a spacious room where sounds, trebles, mids and lows are more defined, more specific. And when you first put these on, if you've been someone who's listened to AirPods Pro 2 in the past, you're gonna instantly know it. I would say maybe the AirPods Pro 2, the bass was there. It was good, it was full, it was rich, but now it's a cleaner bass that's fuller and richer. The mids, more detail. The highs, more detail. And that's all due to this new architecture inside something that looks like the previous AirPods Pro, but it is an all new AirPods Pro 3. And that's just part of the design, right? These still look very familiar. You have their stems where you can click and hold for different functions, pause, play, you can double tap, you can hold them to turn on noise cancellation or not. But what you see here is a few different things. Now, Apple has told us, right, they took over 100,000 hours of actual research to build a new design, a new fit. Over 10,000 ear shapes were factored into this. Now, for me, when I put in the AirPods Pro 2, they were definitely snug. They felt comfortable. Over time, I did feel, a little stress in a certain area, but with this new redesign, when I put in the AirPods Pro 3, they actually rest a little, I feel like they rest a little lower in my canals. They're still snug, but it is a little more comfortable. I can shake my head all over the place violently. I can play sports. I can do exercising. These are not going to pop out anytime soon. Now, how this contributes as well is you got these ear tips. Those are infused with foam, so that cancels out some of the noise. They've also now introduced 5 different size ear tips: extra, extra small, medium, and large. In addition to that, they have new advanced noise cancellation algorithms that also aid in this. So we're talking about, these are just some of the things. So it's both a hardware and software solution that gives you what Apple is claiming to be 2 times the noise cancellation. I can tell you, went to the airport, walked around there to just kind of get an idea of what it sounds like, switched between AirPods Pro 2 and AirPods Pro 3 on the plane itself. And you can definitely tell, I could tell that the noise cancellation was significantly improved right away. So if you know what they already sounded like before, you know that is a feat in itself. Apple is claiming like these are the best noise canceling on a wireless earbud. And I'm not going to refute that because I experienced it for myself. Let's talk about more hardware here, right? In this design, how much more can you actually pack in here? The stems, you got those touch controls, the click controls, you see the air vents, you see the microphone. Like, I don't know what you can pack in here, but on this little tiny part, this little black little, like, I guess call it like a little nub or a little line here, that is Apple's smallest heart rate sensor that they have ever built on any product. We know that the Powerbeats Pro 2, they have a heart rate sensor that was before them the smallest. These have been built specifically for the AirPods Pro 3. Now, let me talk about what makes them different. First of all, you notice in a lot of heart rate sensors, whether it's under your Apple Watch or other devices, on the Powerbeats Pro 2, it's a green light. They're using invisible light here. So when you put them in your ears, you don't see anything like a green light that glows. It's invisible. The other thing is that this takes 256 readings per second. So it's constantly pulsing. Now, there are different methodologies here. The Powerbeats Pro 2 does it at 160 pulses per second measurements. That doesn't mean that they're worse, but they're just at least hitting it more often to try and get a better accurate representation of your heart rate. Now, I'm pretty active, right? I go on walks and runs, and I definitely love my hoops and everything, but how does this heart rate sensor actually factor into your activities? Well, what's really cool is, first of all, it's compatible with about 50 different workouts from Apple, means it automatically detects what you're doing. You can actually see here, I busted out my phone, I started walking, so at least you could see the heart rate change on the fly while I was wearing the AirPods Pro 3. Just another thing though, I was also wearing an Apple Watch, and a lot of people have been asking, okay, which one does it prioritize? It's actually collecting the data from both devices at the same time and taking the best data. And why might that be different? Depending on skin temperature, depending on what the sensors see, it might have to prioritize temporarily the AirPods Pro 3, or it'll prioritize the Apple Watch. But ultimately, if you're someone who's wearing both, it's going to get the best data from both of those devices working together. Now, for all my other fitness friends out there, you're probably wondering, okay, well, what do these actually work with? Well, here's the thing. There's an API that works with a lot of third-party apps. So we're talking about the Nike Run app. We're talking about Ladder, Runkeeper, and more. Here's the thing that I really want you all to know, okay? It does work with the Peloton app because there's an API that works with that. But these are made to really coexist and live in the Apple ecosystem. We're talking about the Apple workouts. We're talking about the Apple Fitness Plus classes and programs where this heart rate sensor data shows up on screen real time while you're doing these workouts. The one thing though that it's not meant to work with is something like hardware fitness equipment. Now, remember the Powerbeats Pro 2, you could actually hit a button in order to sync it as a heart rate monitor with something like a Peloton bike. The AirPods Pro 3 are not meant to work with Bluetooth syncing hardware like that. It's meant to work with third-party apps, with the compatible APIs, and then Apple's own ecosystem. So I want to make that clear so you know exactly how these will work for you depending on how you work out. Now, before we jump to other things, I do want to mention the case design for the AirPods Pro 3 is actually different. So AirPods Pro 2, there's actually a little dot here for the light. Now, when you open this up, the light is built into that front of that white casing, and you will still see it, but there's not, like last time I could run my finger over it, you could feel something different. This is all built into a purely white surface. Now on the back also, there is no physical button here, similar to the AirPods 4. So what that means is that if you want to sync it to a new device or phone and it's not doing it automatically when you open it, what you can do is with the AirPods Pros inside, double tap the front, and that will prompt it for a pairing session. The other thing though, remember, if you're in Apple's ecosystem, once you pair it to one device and you have all your devices on iCloud, it automatically allows you to use them with any device. So that is another huge ecosystem benefit of why the AirPods and AirPods Pro have been so great for Apple users. And let's talk about the size of the actual case real quick. Now, if you look at it just real carefully, it's the new AirPods Pro 3 case is just a hair taller and a hair wider, but that's okay, right? They had to redesign the actual AirPods Pro 3, so they're going to fit in that case differently. There's not much space, but we put them side to side and actually weighed them to find out the difference. So the earbuds themselves, both for AirPods Pro 2 and for AirPods Pro 3, they both weighed in at 11 grams. Now, if we put the AirPods Pro 2 case on the scale, that weighed in at 51 grams. Let's put on the AirPods Pro 3 case, and that weighs in at 44 grams. So it's actually lighter, although a hair taller and wider. And then the other thing to note here, with the case, you're going to get 24 hours of listening time with noise canceling on. All right, let's keep on talking about more features. I'm telling you, I have so much more to go through. And this is why, if you're wondering, why is Brian so excited about AirPods Pro 3? This is, like I said, a whole new beast. IP57 for water and sweat resistance. Why is that important? The previous model, AirPods Pro 2, IP54. So that's a significant jump when you talk about the durability and being able to run in rain, or some of you all sweatier people, you're gonna want to use these. So IP57, that's a great improvement as well. Subtle, but useful. All right, next up, let's talk about live translation. Now, Apple showcased this off at their keynote when they announced AirPods Pro 3. This is a feature that's in beta, but I'm going to talk about, we can't actually show you how it works, but we'll talk about how you set up. So first of all, right, obviously, you're going to want to pop in your AirPods Pro 3. Then you'll open up the Translate app. From there, there's a little icon that says Live with the AirPods. And what it allows you to do is to set up live translation. You're going to choose what language to translate it to. I'm going to pick English. And then right now you have 4 languages to pick from: French, German, Portuguese, and Spanish. What happens from there is the AirPods Pro can hear this person next to me speaking fluently in Spanish. And then a voice, it sounds like that Siri voice, will translate that in English. Now, here's the thing. In my live demos, they showcase it off. It worked well. The person spoke at a little bit of a more normal, deliberate pace, but it is supposed to work. You know, if someone speaks really fast or change their inflections. I will say it is in beta. It is not a poor feature. It is a great feature that's only going to get better, but I do think it still needs some work. Look, the holy grail that I've heard right now up to this point is Google's live translation that takes my voice and the other person's voice. Then, again, let's say it turns my voice and says Spanish with the intonations, with the speed, with the inflection. That is like next level. So Apple does have live translation, but there are other products out there that are better at the moment. But again, this will also evolve. All right, so we are here at Angel's Tijuana Tacos, one of my favorite taco spots of all time. We're gonna test out the live translation. So all I gotta do is click and hold on both of these. I hear a chime, it's gonna prompt it. I'm gonna choose the live translation here. And when we get to the front, we'll see how this works. So you can see I did try it a couple times. I tried it with some of the food servers. I tried it with my buddy Gustavo, but it just didn't work with all that ambient noise. I've used it before in quiet environments and it's fine, but here it just didn't. Now, I'm gonna tell you two new little gems that Apple never talked about their keynote. Two new features that are on these new AirPods Pro 3, and they actually also work with any AirPods that are using an H2 chip inside. So this is not just for the new ones, but I wanted to show you, this is really cool. Okay, so in your settings, you're gonna wanna go to the AirPods settings themselves. And when I click into it, I'm just gonna scroll. I'm gonna keep on scrolling. I'm gonna scroll and scroll all the way down. And there's an option that's called pause media when falling asleep. And this is amazing. How many times have you fallen asleep to a movie or a podcast? You're like, oh, where did I leave off? What it does is basically tracks your general body movements, especially during a certain time window. So let's say later in the night, it knows that you probably are falling asleep and it will pause your media for you. That is a new feature, a new gem in the AirPods Pro settings. Any AirPods that also use H2. So you can thank me for that one. Let's also talk about the second gem. I think it's just easier for me to show you this, but you're gonna be able to control, as a creator, control your camera and then use the mic from the AirPods to record that audio. Okay, everyone, we have now teleported to my kitchen because I really wanna show you one of those cool gems, those hidden features here that you might not know about. So if you're an aspiring content creator or one and you just have AirPods and iPhone, check this out. This is what we're gonna wanna do. We're gonna first wanna jump into settings. You have your AirPods on, so they're paired with this phone, right? First thing, we're gonna go into those settings for the AirPods, and I'm gonna find this option here called camera control, and it says camera remote. Let's click on that, and it gives you two options, press once or press and hold. So I'm gonna choose press and hold, and what this does is while you're using the actual camera app, you do that gesture, press and hold on your AirPods Pro, and it will start recording. So now I'm gonna jump into the camera app, and then here I'm gonna go over to video, okay? I'm gonna switch the camera over to me, and then let's do this. Let's swipe down from the top to the bottom here, and you'll have this green bar here. These are some of the settings for the camera controls, and look at this. I can change the input of the microphone from the iPhone to the AirPods Pro. So it's gonna take the audio from here. You can either choose automatic, standard, voice isolate. You have some different options for how you want it to record you. Let's keep it on automatic. So we're gonna jump back out of here now, okay? And what we have here is the camera on me. I'm gonna use camera control to start recording here. What's up, guys? Welcome. You are here in my kitchen using the AirPods Pro 3 with one of these new cool hidden gem features just like that. Now, if all of that wasn't enough, they also improved the battery life in these little dinky guys. So previously AirPods Pro 2, 6 hours of battery life with normal usage. Now 8 hours. And then if you're also using these as a hearing aid for assistance, it was previously 4 hours, now 10 hours. So they've even squeezed more juice into these. So when we look at this whole picture of the AirPods Pro 3, better sound, all new hardware, live translation, better water sweat protection, all these new little gem features, better noise cancellation, and then even, I'm gonna jump around the live translation. You can still do that on an AirPods Pro 2 and an AirPods 4 because they show love to the previous models. These guys, I say it every time, this is one of Apple's, if not their most innovative product for the past 5 to 10 years. Price-wise, same price, $249 for the AirPods Pro 3. So now let's take a step back and think about who does this make the most sense for, right? Now, if you're an AirPods Pro 2 user, you are doing just fine with your AirPods Pro 2. But if any of those features that I talked about are compelling to you, whether it's improved sound, whether it's improved noise canceling, all of these things, make these a really compelling buy if you're an AirPods Pro user. Now, let's say if you have any, I'm gonna say it right now, anyone with a previous version of AirPods, first gen, second gen, third gen, regular AirPods, AirPods 4, these fit differently in people's ears. Some people don't like the silicone tip feeling. I get that. So that's gonna be really personal for you. But to me, other than an AirPods Pro 2 owner who doesn't want to spend more money, I'm telling you, I would get AirPods Pro 3. They are that good. That's me, and you're just gonna have to check these out for yourself, see what other people say. But when Apple takes a product like this, one of their best products, and builds it entirely from the ground up, it looks the same, feels better, sounds better, does more things better. This is it, AirPods Pro 3. Again, the most innovative product from Apple. You can check me on that. I'm right.